Hello, Black America.
We're having a fascinating conversation with No Limit Eddie. He's taking us through some great things to do, not to do, some cost analysis. When we just left, you were going through. We asked you to kind of break down what a week long maybe Egyptian vacation would cost. You said now this was without airfare, of course, but you were saying about $300 takes you a long way. Now, does that include? That doesn't include the lodging, though, right? We're still
Nah. Well, lodging might be a little bit more. I usually do Airbnbs, maybe like $100, $200. Max $300 for like a good Airbnb, for a week.
For a week,
Yeah.
not a night.
Nah, not a night. They're like $30 a night for like a decent one usually.
So if somebody said somebody want to come out with they want to ball, live in the lap of luxury, they're gonna spend $100 a night on an Airbnb. They get something nice.
They'll get something super nice. Yeah, New Cairo. If you go to New Cairo, get something really nice. I'm there for $100 a night. If you can even find anything for that price, that's kind of high there. But yeah,
wow. That's kind of high. Oh
sure.
My goodness!
I heard some of my younger friends talking about they spent $10,000 on a night in America.
Yeah,
like bottle service and all that. Oh, are you kidding me?
$100 a night, $80 a night for a nice hotel in New Cairo. New Cairo is this new, it's the new area in Egypt they developed. Right. Is that for a lot of the government or for the dignitaries? Is that who are they planning to live in that New Cairo area?
No. Okay, so the New Cairo is for civilians. Then there's a new administrative capital. I think that's what you're talking about. That's where they have like the military portion and like kind of like the president stuff is down that side. That's what they're still kind of building out.
So if somebody wanted to live in the safest areas of Egypt, where's that area?
Everywhere in Egypt is safe. There's nowhere you're gonna go and feel like, oh, I'm unsafe, or I'm gonna get stabbed, or I'm gonna get robbed. Everywhere in Egypt is safe. For sure. Even on the poorest of the poorest, nobody's robbing nobody in Egypt. I've left my keys in my motorcycle, went into the store, came back, the motorcycle's still there. Like, I've left my phone places, leave. Oh crap!
You ain't gotta leave the keys. In America,
that's right.
It don't have to have the keys to get stolen.
Right. No, for sure.
Incredible.
They'll get quick. So it's safe. In all of the residential areas, you'll be all right for sure.
Do you see any people, unhoused people? I know you've talked in your videos before that living in LA, there's a large unhoused population. Do you see any of that? Any kind of beggars on the street? Those sort of things that we deal with, or you don't want to stop at too many traffic lights around here because somebody's coming up to the car asking you for something.
No, for sure. Okay, so like that was one of the big reasons why I did not like LA. The homelessness was getting outrageous. There's a lot of homelessness out here, actually, in Cape Town. A lot of it. You do definitely have beggars in Egypt. Egypt is known for having beggars, but I would say they're a little bit different. A lot of times they're children. They're not even adults. And I don't like them either. I'm not gonna lie. But the difference is Egypt is like a dry country, so they don't really have alcohol. It's kind of hard to get drugs there. So you're not seeing tweakers walking around. So it's just impoverished people. So it's a little bit, you don't feel as like you can get around them, but it's still annoying too.
Sure.
They still have but it's not a crap ton of them.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I mean, you consider you haven't held a job in over 4 years, correct? Oh, since
probably like 5.
So well over 5 years, you've traveled to 4 countries. You live an incredible life. You're always on vacation. It seems like, why don't you take us through, as well as the audience, how you are able to do this and kind of what you offer to people who are trying to do this themselves. Like they like you, because your mission is not just to show people this life that they're able to live through travel, but it's also to show them how they can create some income to be able to do this. So why don't you break this down for us? How have you been able to do this?
Yeah. Okay. So essentially, even when I was in the States, like my last year, I was just fully self-employed. And so when I moved over to the continent, there was a lot of people who were much older than me, 40s, 50s, who have families and everything. They moved to the continent with them. but they were like running out of money and asking me for money and asking me for money. I'm like, yo, it's so cheap to live here. How do you not have money? And then I realized that so many of our people, we have no idea how to make money without a job, like zero idea. And so we'll sell the house, we'll get the money that we work from our job and then move over. We have this nice, little chunk of savings, but we're spending it and have no way to replace it. And so people end up going broke, and it happens usually a lot faster. And so I started kind of teaching people what I was doing online, selling on Etsy, and I created a course around that, started selling that. And then from there, I kind of jumped into like the course creation game as a whole. And so now I'm gonna help people to kind of do exactly what I do: create YouTube content and then market a course that they sell. Right. And so you guys can learn more about that at nolimiteddy.com. Just go to nolimiteddy.com. You can watch the video and then book in a call to speak with me and see if you're kind of like the right fit for that. But yes, so, a lot of people want to move to Africa. It's a dream for most people, but the finances kind of restrict most people from doing it because you got to punch in and punch out. You can't be in Egypt punching in and punching out in Connecticut, right? So, yeah, you got to find a way to kind of escape the 9 to 5. And so, yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Give them that website again, Eddie. Throw that website out there again for the listeners.
Yeah, for sure. So let's go to nolimiteddy.com. That's EDDIE.com, and then you can find pretty much everything else from there.
Okay, this is very important because when you consider that if you could make an extra $1,000 a month or $800 a month, now again in the U.S. that doesn't change your lifestyle much. But if you're talking about following this journey that Eddie's been laying out for us over the last, almost hour, you can live great certain places bringing in $1,000 a month extra, bringing in $1,500 side money extra. You can go to a place like Egypt and live very comfortable on $1,000, $1,500. So I mean, I think this is incredible. I think the more opportunities we have to make money like this, the more we can set people free because, they're tied to these jobs where they're making their 30, 50, 60 grand, 70 grand. But like you said, Eddie, when they're tied to that job and that's their income, they can't make these moves.
Right. The corporation is a new plantation. So you're like locked in and tied into that joint.
You are not kidding about that. Eddie, this has been an outstanding conversation. I still have another page full of questions that I could have asked.
Tons of stuff.
Part two.
We got
absolutely.
Do it.
We can work that out.
If you would oblige us, we'd love to have you on for a part two.
Sure.
Well, listen, your journey continues. You're continuing to go to different places. You're getting on a plane in a few hours here and heading somewhere else. So we're going to want to understand what's going on the continent, and it's great to be able to have eyes on the ground, feet on the ground that are actually experiencing these things. Is there anything that you want to leave with the audience that is important that maybe we haven't touched on today? That any kind of cautions or anything that you want to leave our audience with that you've experienced, or any kind of inside tip that you want to leave for the audience?
Yeah. So I think one big thing is just do it, right? Like that's what I want to say is just do it. So many people are like, okay, I'm going to wait until I retire, right? And so you have that corporation that's kind of holding you down. And then by the time you get to retirement age, your body is so beat down, so worn down, your mind is so beat down, so worn down, you're now tied into the medical industry. Now you can't leave because you got to get your medicine. You got to go to your doctor. You got to do this. And so America is never going to let you go. You just have to kind of make the jump and kind of go for it because waiting is not going to get you anywhere in a lot of ways when it comes to this moving abroad stuff, for sure.
I want to ask a question for the older of us, because I get the impression that this is sort of a young man's game, right? Even though you say that most countries don't want you if you're under 35. They want you to be a little older.
Yeah.
But I'm just keeping it real. It takes a certain amount of energy and, oomph to just get out there and take this kind of move. And it seems like it's a younger man's game to do that and get out there and just do it.
I think it's just
America,
Opposite,
man.
I think you're right. Go ahead.
All of my friends are married with children older. All of them that I've met that are here from the US. So I don't have any friend that's here on the continent that is 20, 25,
Really?
26, 27.
Oh, wow.
No. So yeah, it's mostly families that kind of relocate here. They had a house, they sold the house, they kind of had that nut, and then they kind of made it to play. It's very rare to run into anybody that's like younger doing it.
So you're telling me that that's something that's just in my head I got to get rid of.
Yeah, yeah. It's the opposite. Maybe because social media makes it seem like that,
Mhm.
right? Maybe like the people who are most vocal are
Mhm.
younger, like me, Mark Meets Africa, Austin Holloman. Maybe we're like the face of it. But the people who really make the move, they're like your guys' age. They usually have children, wife, and they kind of make the move over.
Oh, amen.
I think that's great. That's great to know.
Okay.
If we can help it, we want to do our part in helping a whole host of people get over to Africa in different parts. There's a lot of questions, as Curtis said, that we did not have time to get into.
Yeah,
We didn't
yeah.
have a chance to get into, the laws and some of these visa laws and what you're seeing concerning the countries and the government. Who are the governments that you see are easy to work with? Who are the governments that are, maybe they're bought by Europe, they're a little corrupt, maybe if you've seen any, like this is all stuff that we want to be, we didn't get into the Hebrew Israelite heritage and why you
Yeah.
identify with that. So
Yeah.
if we could, and we'll keep in touch with you, if we could get you back for a part 2, Eddie. I mean, I'm sure the listeners, we'd love to have you. I'm sure the listeners would get a lot out of it if you're open to coming back, sometime soon.
Absolutely.
Definitely let's do a part 2. Let's run it back. You know what I mean? Let's answer the rest of the
I thought you weren't a
For sure.
basketball person. You know the term now.
Yeah,
Run it
yeah,
back.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Run it back.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, of course, of course. We all play basketball coming up, you know what I mean?
Hello, Black America.